The past decade has been defined by a trend of innovative racetracks for all forms of racing. Whether they're a street circuit unlike anything we've seen before, a full road course put right inside of an oval, or ovals built to be set up and taken down in months. Whether it's stock cars, open wheel, or sports cars, the future is bright for more unique, state-of-the-art racetracks. But what if we took a set of drivers from decades ago and put them on a circuit that might have been unthinkable in their time? Today on Racing Infinity, we take the stars of the past and put them on a racing circuit of the future. In 2022, Formula One hosted its first Miami Grand Prix. The circuit around Hard Rock Stadium was one of the first of its kind, with both permanent and temporary elements around state-of-the-art facilities. It's a circuit built for the 2020s, but in a market known for its retro flair, it only seems fitting that we will get to see classic American muscle rip around the twists and turns of this circuit, as the 1992 NASCAR Winston Cup Series takes on this modern Formula One circuit. It's a roster that runs deep with icons of the sport: Dale Earnhardt, a 5-time champion at the time, plus Richard Petty in his final season. And there are champions, including Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip, and Terry Labonte. And of course, two of NASCAR's biggest what-ifs, Davey Allison and the eventual champion, Alan Kulwicki. They and many other drivers will take on a narrow, long road course today that's unlike anything they've seen before. Which retro driver will conquer a track from their future? And we're ready to find out. This race features a smaller field of 33 cars due to limited garage space. And there will be 24 laps. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for this showdown in South Florida. Starting on the pole is the number 42 of Kyle Petty, and starting next to him is Terry Labonte. In row 2, you'll find the 6 of Mark Martin and the 4 of Ernie Irvan starting in 4th. Starting 5th, the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt in that iconic black number 3, and Ricky Rudd next to him, he'll start in 6th. Behind them is Rusty Wallace in the number 2, and Alan Kulwicki will start 8th. And rounding out the top 10 in the number 11 is Bill Elliott, and next to him is the 28 of Davey Allison. Starting 11th is the 22 of Sterling Marlin, and next to him is the 15 of Jeff Bodine. Brett Bodine will start in 13th, and Darrell Waltrip will roll off in 14th. Ken Schrader will start in 15th, and starting 16th is Ted Musgrave. Starting 17th is Wally Dallenbach Jr., and in 18th you'll find the 33 of Harry Gant. Rolling off 19th is the 18 of Dale Jarrett, and starting next to him is the King, Richard Petty, in his final season. Starting 21st is the number 10 of Derek Cope, and Michael Waltrip will start 22nd. Starting 23rd is the number 1 of Rick Mast, and starting next to him is Dave Marcus in the 71. Bobby Hamilton will start in 25th, and starting 26th is Hut Strickland. Starting 27th is Dick Trickle in the 75, and next to him is Jimmy Spencer in the 98. Starting 29th is the 66 of Chad Little, and Rick Wilson will start in 30th. Rounding out the field are the 52 of Jimmy Means, the 83 of Lake Speed, and the 14 of A.J. Foyt. Here we go, time for the Winston Cup to race somewhere they never have before, as Kyle Petty and Terry Labonte lead the field to the green flag, and we're off in Miami. Through the first turns, and Kyle Petty will clear Labonte for the lead as Martin settles in the 3rd, Irvan 4th, and it looks like Earnhardt is trying to hold off Ricky Rudd for 5th. And we have trouble already as the 1 of Rick Mast is in the wall, and the caution is out already. Rick Mast does keep it going, and let's take a look at what has brought out the first yellow of the day. Looks like they were 3 wide between Mast, Dale Jarrett, and Richard Petty, as Mast lost control and veered into the 18 car. Mast goes around while Petty and Jarrett do continue on with little to no issues. Mast does have some damage and will need that to be assessed, but he should be fine to continue racing. Oh, we got another stack up now. I see Derek Cope, Harry Gant, Wally Dallenbach, Musgrave in that mess. An absolute wild start to this one, as everyone is racing back to the start-finish line. And let's take a look at some of the replays here. This is on board with Wally Dallenbach Jr. and just a huge stack up here. Again, we talked about this. This is a different kind of race course that these Winston Cup drivers are just not used to. It's narrow, it's tight, so they have to be careful when it comes to maneuvering their way around this circuit. Some of these guys definitely have some damage, and they're going to have to go to pit road to get that assessed. A very wild start to this one here in Miami. Here we go for the restart. Kyle Petty leads, Terry Labonte second, Mark Martin third, Ernie Irvan fourth, and Ricky Rudd fifth as we get back underway. Green flag. And once again, Kyle Petty takes off with the lead as Mark Martin challenges Labonte for second. Rudd is battling for fourth as well. Big crash! Bill Elliott and Darrell Waltrip are hard into the tire barriers, and the caution is out again. Waltrip with heavy damage. He is most likely done for the day. Same can be said for Bill Elliott too. Just hard contact there for both drivers right into the tire barrier. Two major names now already out of contention, and this shows what kind of challenge everyone has today. Let's take a look at what exactly happened. And it seems to be that DW got too aggressive and turns the 11, which he once drove in the past, and away they go. Big crash here in Miami. Caution is out for the second time here today as the leaders make it back to the line. Mark Martin has taken second from Terry Labonte, and Ricky Rudd has cleared Ernie Irvan for fourth. Here we go again. Let's see if everyone can settle in and get to work around the streets of Miami. Kyle Petty once again leads the field back to the green flag. Into turn 1, the 5 and 6 are side by side for second. That's Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd. Martin clears for second as Kyle Petty begins to pull away. I would assume that some of these drivers are going to be a little bit more laid back on this restart so they can get some green flag laps in and figure out their way around this course with a full field. Ernie Irvan and Terry Labonte back there battling for position. Mark Martin still hanging on to second. Ricky Rudd all over the back of him. Now Ernie Irvan now up to fourth. He was able to hold off the 94 Terry Labonte, but now he's under fire from Dale Earnhardt. So far, so good. We are clean here on lap 7. No issues so far. And hopefully it remains that way. We can get some racing action underway as we go on board with our leader, Kyle Petty. And again, through these tight corners, this part here in particular, a very unique part of this circuit, this is a tough section of the track with how narrow it gets. Easier in an open wheel, but much more difficult when it comes to handling with a stock car. It's all about hitting your marks correctly and staying focused so you don't make any mistakes. And as I say that, the 5 of Rudd scraped the wall a bit coming off of that narrow corner. Now they head down this long straight where they build up speed, and up ahead at this next turn could make for a good passing opportunity if one is put in the right position. We're now about to complete our first full green flag lap of the day as Kyle Petty of Sapco Racing starts to pull away. Oh, big stack up in the back. Dave Marcus runs into Dallenbach, Mass runs into them, and so does Alan Kowicki. Marcus trying to get back going now, and he gets turned by Kowicki! What was that all about? I'm not sure if that was accidental or intentional, but it sure takes a lot to make Alan Kowicki upset. And by the way, there is no caution. That is because everyone got going right away and NASCAR deemed it safe to continue racing under green flag conditions. Not a good day here for the 71 of Dave Marcus, and not to mention this is so new to everyone in the field. You have to find the opportunities on the track to make a pass. Parts of this track are so narrow. It's something to keep an eye out for sure. So there you have it, Alan Kulwicki turning the 71 of Dave Marcus. We're taking a look at some of the replays here, and like what we saw in that first lap, just a huge stack up, probably even worse than that last one. And as for Kulwicki, that was a pretty big hit there on the 7 car, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage. And then just getting into the 71, again, I'm not really sure what exactly happened in that situation that caused Kulwicki to turn Marcus, and that is just the chaotic wonders of racing on a street course. Ten laps are complete here in Miami, and Richard Petty sits in 9th place, a solid showing from the King in what is his final season in the Winston Cup Series. He's definitely enjoying himself out there and having fun. He's hoping to walk out here with a top 10 finish here today. Meanwhile, Kyle Petty continues to lead with Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd right behind him. So far, Kyle Petty has had the best car of this race, and behind him, Ricky Rudd trying to work his way past Mark Martin, but no success there, and Martin will hold on to second still. You got to find the right places on a track like this, something that's so narrow. Where are the right places to make that pass? Track position is so important when it comes to racing on a street circuit, especially when you're racing with these big, heavy stock cars. It's not like IndyCar or Formula One. This is a completely different ball game, and it is a challenge for these Winston Cup drivers. This is definitely something that we have never seen before. Terry Labonte and Ernie Irvan back there battling for 4th place as Labonte's trying to get the upper hand on the 4, but Ernie Irvan's hanging on, and he might have the advantage here in this next corner as they come off of it. Still side by side, although I just saw the 94 scrape the wall a little bit. That's been a little bit of an issue for some of these drivers today. And you begin to wonder if any of these drivers may know what a drone is. Well, they're about to find out. Check out this shot. Coming back around now, we see Kyle Petty making his way down pit road to begin green flag pit stops. Martin and Rudd do join him as well as Dale Earnhardt. Kyle Petty says everything is perfect about the car. No need for any adjustments, so he's going to get 4 fresh tires and some Union 76 fuel. This is a very unique circuit with its heavy braking zones and use of a few public roads, so ensuring tire wear is under control is just as important as running a smooth lap. Kyle Petty finishes up and heads out as Rudd will get the jump on Mark Martin. So that will most likely put Rudd in 2nd and Earnhardt in 3rd. We have a new leader in the form of Sterling Marlin in that number 22 Ford. Kyle Petty is now 2nd after leading for the first bit of the race. That it's Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, and Dale Earnhardt rounding out the top 5 as we have almost 10 laps to go here in Miami. Now 10 laps may not sound like a lot, but this is a long winding street circuit, so we still got plenty of racing left and anything can happen as Sterling Marlin works his way around this beautiful circuit. 100,000 plus here in attendance to see a race unlike any other. 10 laps to go, but this circuit is over 3 miles long, so there's plenty of racing left until the checkers. Here's another drone shot of this beautiful circuit. As you see the 22 going by there. Marlin continues to lead. He is in search of his first career Winston Cup Series victory, but I will note, I see a slow car back there in the 10 of Derek Cope. Hopefully he can work his way back to pit road, or else they'll have to throw a caution, as Sterling Marlin, he is not pit yet, and who knows how much longer he can stay out on the track and maintain this position. But again, sometimes this also comes down to strategy. Perhaps a caution could come out that could put Marlin in a good spot to win this race. Again, 10 laps to go, but here, that is a lot of racing left to go. Quick on board of Sterling Marlin there as he gets ready to come back to the start and finish line, but it looks like on the radio he is saying he is coming in this time. So Sterling Marlin will make his way down pit road, hoping for the quickest pit stop possible to put himself in any kind of position for at least a good finish, or perhaps a caution could come out and the odds could be in his favor and Marlin could be in an opportunity to win in what's going to be a special win for anyone who wins this race. And with that, Kyle Petty is going to take the lead as Marlin's team goes to work. So Kyle Petty, who's had the best car so far, out in front once again. Can anyone stop that mellow yellow Pontiac? As it stands right now, your top three is Petty, Labonte, and Ricky Rudd in third. However, Ricky Rudd, I'm hearing, will have to pit shortly. Battle for third between Ernie Irvan and Dale Earnhardt as Irvan gets to the right side of Earnhardt. Irvan has a strong Kodak Chevrolet, and it shows as he will power his way past Earnhardt. Irvan now up to third, and Mark Martin is now knocking on the door for fourth. Ernie Irvan's car has really come to life here late in this one, as Dale Earnhardt's starting to fade a little bit. Can Ernie Irvan perhaps put himself in an opportunity to win this race? Of course, if a late caution comes out, a lot will change. But there's still plenty of racing left here. Lots of twists and turns remaining as you see Mark Martin there in the 6, right there at the back of that number 3 of Earnhardt. And of course, don't count out the intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. You know he may have a trick or two up his sleeve. If the odds could fall in his favor, I'm sure that would be a very special win for someone like Dale Earnhardt to win on a circuit quite like this. On board with the 2 of Rusty Wallace, he's also been quietly entering the picture. And that number 2, driving for the captain, Roger Penske, I wouldn't count him out either. Already timed to what will most likely be the final round of green flag pit stops, as Kyle Petty will go down pit road to hopefully make it the rest of the way on fuel. Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt are there as well. Kyle Petty still feeling good about things with that 42 car. The 94 asking for a bit of an adjustment, hoping to make his car a little looser and get a little extra speed out of that 94 car, as Kyle Petty's team now goes to work, changing the left side tires on his number 42 Pontiac, driving for Felix Sabates. But now let's take a look at who's going to come out first. And Terry Labonte has pulled out ahead of Kyle Petty. Could Terry Labonte end up with the lead? We're just going to have to wait and see how everything cycles through. Ernie Irvan is currently scored as the leader with Mark Martin second, and we have a spin! Jimmy Means gets turned by Ken Schrader, the 52 bounces off the wall, and the caution is out with just 6 laps to go. That means we're going to have a quick dash to the finish. As I said, a caution can change everything, as we're seeing the replay that brought out this late caution. Again, Schrader gets the least of it. Jimmy Means with some damage on his 52 car. With that being said, this is going to change up fuel strategy, and we could have new contenders for the win if some drivers aren't able to make it to the finish. Ernie Irvan remains the leader, and he will have to go to work here to get the win. The other question is, does he have enough on fuel? Well, all those questions are about to be answered. 3 laps will remain. Here we go. Green flag. Wallace looks to the inside of Irvan, but it looks like he won't be able to make a pass. Meanwhile, Hamilton loses a spot to Marlin. Now he jumps up to 3rd. What a shame. I'm sure Bobby Hamilton would have loved to have pulled off an upset win here today, but that's starting to look like that's not going to happen, as Ernie Irvan is pulling away, or at least trying to pull away from the rest of the field. We're going to have to monitor that Kodak Chevrolet. Does he have enough fuel? We're definitely going to find out in the coming moments as you take a look at this beautiful drone cam once again. Something that's honestly more of a fantasy to anyone from the 90s, but such a unique feature to showcase the broadcast from every single angle. Top 3 currently is Irvan, Wallace, Marlin, with Terry Labonte back there in 4th. Going down this long straightaway, you see Kyle Petty there in 5th. A lot's going to have to happen now if he wants to win this one. Coming to 2 laps to go now, and Ernie Irvan is going down pit road. He's used up all his fuel. His crew is determined that they were not going to make it the rest of the way. I see Bobby Hamilton as well on pit road, and that's going to hand the lead to Rusty Wallace. 2 laps to go as Wallace still leads. Sterling Marlin is 2nd, but Terry Labonte is knocking on the door for that position. Labonte looks to the inside of Marlin. He wants 2nd, and if he wants a shot at the win, he's going to have to get by him right here, right now. Not a whole lot of time left. Side by side they go. Labonte looks to have the advantage into this next turn. Labonte now starts to pull away. Terry Labonte to 2nd. Marlin begins to lose ground, but now can Labonte catch Rusty Wallace? Final lap for Rusty Wallace as he is looking to cruise away with a big win here in Miami. However, Terry Labonte has just taken 2nd place from Sterling Marlin, and that 94 car is coming fast. Can Labonte chase down Rusty Wallace? Just imagine being able to win one of the most anticipated and most unique races in NASCAR history. Definitely one for the record books, and that is what every single driver here today was striving for. Rusty Wallace right now looking to be the one to get that done, but Terry Labonte not backing down without a fight. He is knocking on the door of the lead, but he's trying to find some sort of momentum. He's trying to see if he can cause Rusty to make a mistake. Inside shot of that number 94 car. And there's Terry Labonte trying to chase down Rusty Wallace. Running out of time as corner after corner goes by. Just a handful of turns remaining. Labonte is still there, but still not able to get past Wallace. Rusty Wallace hanging on very well. And you see Sterling Marlin, Kyle Petty, Ricky Rudd in that little pack there with the other leaders. And looks like it's going to be all Rusty Wallace, barring any sort of late race disaster. The 94 just about scraped the wall there. That might have sealed the deal for St. Louis, Missouri's Rusty Wallace. Coming to the checkered flag, it's going to be Penske Racing and Rusty Wallace heading to victory lane on the streets of Miami. This win will certainly be special for Rusty and Roger Penske as they get this win on such a unique course. Let's take a look at our final results here, as Rusty Wallace is your winner. Terry Labonte is second. Sterling Marlin is third. Kyle Petty ends up in fourth. Ricky Rudd is fifth. Davey Allison sixth. Ted Musgrave with a good run in seventh. Harry Gant eighth. Jeff Bodine ninth. And Hutch Strickland rounding out the top 10. Going through the rest of your finishing order, Richard Petty with a solid run. He finishes in 11th. Alan Kowicki in 14th. Chad Little in 16th, Rick Wilson in 17th, Ernie Irvin and Bobby Hamilton fall back to 18th and 19th after having to pit coming to 2 to go. And the rest of your finishing order here, Dale Earnhardt with a disappointing 21st place finish, Mark Martin in 22nd, Dale Jarrett 25th, and out of the race were the 1 of Rick Mast, the 71 of Dave Marcus, the 17 of Darrell Waltrip, the 11 of Bill Elliott, the 30 of Michael Waltrip, the 83 of Lake Speed, and the 14 of A.J. Foyt. It's certainly interesting to see how the past can meet the future in this one, as we saw the 1992 Winston Cup Series take on the Miami Grand Prix. And a huge shout out to Esco Trackside for making this course. And if you want to find and use that track, I'll have a link in the description down below where you can download it off of StuNod. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm Gray Speed Productions, and I'll see you in the next video.